Hi friends, hope you are doing well. I'm Dr. Ganguly. Welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to respond to a viewer's question, and that is it worthwhile writing a paper as a master's degree student? And essentially I will tell you why this is important, because at the present it may not seem so important to you, but I will say that most master's degree students do enough work to warrant one publication at least in a conference, and some of them can be even published in journal. So now one of the reasons for writing a paper is that whatever you are doing in your master's degree in terms of research can be archived in some place, and so this stays there for a long time, for all time to come, and essentially you can use it later. Now if you are somebody who wants to write a paper in the master's degree, make sure that you take the master's thesis option. So many universities are now giving two types of master's degree. One degree is by thesis and a few courses, and the second degree is by taking only courses. Now if you take the master's degree with only courses, you essentially just do a set of courses in a particular specialization. For example, if you are a computer science student, the specialization may be in machine learning. If you are a mechanical engineering student, the specialization may be in fluid mechanics. So again, once you take these courses, you essentially leave the university and hopefully you get a job or do something else. Now if you take the thesis option, you essentially have to do several credits under the guidance of a professor, and this professor is going to most likely make you part of a larger research project, because in most universities many projects are going on, and so you can work on one of the research projects as a master's thesis student, and sometimes this may also help you to get a stipend. That is always the advantage, that you may get what is known as an RA or a research assistantship to work on this project. Now even if you don't get an RA, you are working for the professor just for your own sake. You end up doing this thesis work and you end up writing a paper in many cases. Now very often you may be working with a PhD student or some postdoc or with the professor directly, and so you may write the paper yourself with some help and then submit it to a journal or a conference, and you will have a paper under your name. Now some of the things I have seen is that when students go off later, work in the industry, after a few years they suddenly think, I want to do a PhD, maybe I want to go to a foreign country and do a PhD. In that situation they used to come to me and say, can you give me a reference? Of course I can give a reference, but now the student only has a CGPA to fall back on, and if he or she had a paper, that would strengthen their case very much. So I have seen students who have even spent 5 years or 10 years working in some company like GE or Rolls-Royce for that matter. They suddenly think that they want to do a PhD degree or even an MBA degree. They apply to foreign universities, and then if they had written one or two papers during the master's degree, the chances of getting admission and scholarship become much higher, because if you have written a paper sometime in your master's degree, it is much easier to get a scholarship for a PhD program, because professors always like to see that the students have written journal paper, because a journal paper shows that you have not only the capability of doing research, but you basically know the template of publication, because essentially whatever is done in research in the university is communicated through journal publications, and there is a certain art behind it. You need to know how to write this paper, how to write the abstract, the introduction, the results and discussion sections, how to make graphs, how to make tables, how to put references, and so on. Most likely you know LaTeX, and all these things are very useful. So essentially a journal paper, even if it is 3 or 4 pages long, even if it's a technical note, is a very useful specimen by which you can communicate to various professors around the world later in life, if you ever decide to get back into the academic system, or even if you decide to do a different master's degree for that matter, not just a PhD. So sometimes people may decide to do a PhD in a different domain, and sometimes they may decide to do masters in a different domain. In all these cases, the publication is going to be very useful. So I hope this short video is useful to you. I will see you sometime soon. See you then.